World War II was one of the most brutal and harshest wars to ever take place in history. The war was between the Axis powers, including Germany, Italy, and Japan, and the Allies, which included Britain, Soviet Union, and the USA. The war started in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. World War II was centralized around two parts of the planet, the Pacific Theater and the European Theater. Places like France and the Pacific Islands were scarred and took huge holes from the war. World War II ended in 1945, but resulted in the deaths of over 50 million people worldwide. We had the pleasure of interviewing Roberto Ruiz, who was a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II. He was a command pilot that fought in the Battle of the Bulge and the Potosi oil fields. His efforts during the war earned him many decorations and awards, such as the Distinguished Flying Cross.
Where and when were you born?
9/14/22.
Okay. Where were you born?
I'm originally from a small town here, north, 9 miles north of San Diego, 4 miles south of La Jolla, called Pacific Beach, right on the coast. Born and raised there, I went to school there. Elementary, junior high, and I graduated from La Jolla High School.
Okay. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have a brother, glad you asked. I have a brother who flew B-29s in the Pacific. He was a pilot. And he, after service, he went to college and San Diego State, and he got his master's at Claremont, and he got his PhD at University of California at Berkeley. He became a professor. He taught at UCSD for 20-some odd years, Latin American history.
It's pretty impressive.
And
Do you have any of those?
when I went in, I was my first year at San Diego State. And then I served. I didn't want to be drafted because in 1941 was the draft, initiated the draft, where you had everyone 17 and a half to 35 had to sign and register. And then you take your physical later. If you pass that, you're 1A. 1A, they call you and put you where they want. Marine, Navy, Army, or any branch of the service. Well, I didn't want to go in any branch. I wanted to fly. So that's why I enlisted in the Air Force.
On September 16, 1940, the USA instituted the Selective Training and Service Act of 1940, which required men between 21 and 45 to register for the draft. By the end of the war in 1945, over 50 million people had been registered for the draft, and 10 million had been inducted into the military. And these people served in either the Pacific or Europe.
Oh, we got to go overseas. So we either went to the Pacific or England or Europe. Well, naturally, I wanted to go to Europe. I didn't want to go to the Pacific. Several reasons. One, in England, you sleep in a room, in a haunted hut, and a bed, and you eat at the officers' quarters, at the restaurant. Pacific, you live in tents, and you eat under a tent, and you sleep in a cot. So every morning, I always tell this story, every morning we left New York on a ship, like the Queen Mary, just about like the Queen Mary. We left New York, and the following morning, I'm looking for the sun. It was east. The sun was east. Oh, all right. Second morning, I get up in the morning, the first thing, and look for the sun. As long as it was east, as the sun was in the east, we were going to England. And it took us 14 days, because once we got close, we were in a convoy, and we went as fast as the slowest ship. Plus the fact there's German submarines in the area. We were getting to England. So they had to turn off the motors, so we wouldn't get hit. Anyway, 14 days later we landed in Southampton, England. And from there, we took us to the base in East Anglia, which is northeast England. Well, the town is Norwich. I got this info here. And that's where we were stationed. A 389 bomber group, and that thing it says on that card, I think. And we did a little training before we went on my first mission. they trained you, spend a few weeks training, formation flying and all that. And then you go, and the first mission was to Hanover, Germany. That's west of Berlin, about 200 miles or 100 miles, I forget exactly. And I wasn't flying over the target because the experienced pilot was flying. I was just sitting there. Well, right before bombs away, flak. That plane started doing this. Flak. And right next to me, this plane gets a direct hit. Direct hit. 10 guys on that plane. 10 fellows. Gone. Now, what do you think I was doing? It wasn't like a worse. I mean, I was scared as I was really, man, you know what fear is until you see that stuff. We made it all right, but I'll tell you another story where luckily I'm here. Coming back from a mission, you look up there and see you're flying the next day. Well, they got me as an instructor, experienced pilot flying with a new crew up there. No, I'm sorry. I didn't see my name up there. So, for the first time, I went to the bar. For the first time. Now, I've been there already about 7 or 8 months. The first time to go have a drink at the bar. I've never had one. Well, I was there until about midnight. Then I went back to my room. My room was where they played cards. We played cards to learn the English money equivalent, pounds per dollar. And as soon as I walk in the room, they yell at me. A bunch of guys were playing cards. Ruiz, they've been paging your operations. Call operations. So in the hallway, ¿cuántas veces? I got pages. The rounds about, you got 2, 4, 6, 8 rooms. A hall right down the middle. The phone is in the middle. So I called them. They told me to forget, we got Benko, the pilot across the hall, to go in your place. Benko was a very religious fellow. Catholic. Very religious. I forgot to tell you, but when we won a mission, wow, he was very religious. So that morning, we were all asleep. We played cards until 2 or 3 in the morning. We were all asleep. And the whole place shakes. And we didn't know what it was. We thought it was a V-2, the bombs, some German bombs that they fly over. No, it was Benko that cracked up with the green group. He was killed. I was pictured that. He was killed. So, when I tell that story, my wife told me, it wasn't your time, he didn't want you then. But those are the ones.
Will you tell us like a little bit about the military life, like the food, the barracks, the people you met along the way?
Well, I already told you about my living quarters. Yeah, and here they weren't bad either. Mm-hmm. We were cadets, so they weren't bad here either. No, there's a big difference between being an officer and listen, man, I'll tell you. It's a shame because my crew, there were 6 crewmen. They weren't just privates. I had 2 master sergeants and the rest were staff sergeants. Master sergeants, as high as you can go, and you're enlistment. But yet you can't associate with them. Enlistment men here and the officers here. And yet we risked our lives together. So I didn't like that part of the service. I didn't like that. I mean, as long as you're flying together and everything, you should be able to get together. I don't think I ever had a drink with them. No. What one?
What specific battles were you in World War II?
Battles?
Yeah.
I got there right after the invasion of DJ there in France. I got there right after that.
Yeah.
And then I was in the Battle of the Bulge. You've heard of the Battle of the Bulge?
Yeah.
I was in that one. The Battle of the Bulge. The Battle of the Bulge was when Germany made its last stand. I mean, we were going like a, what's his name? The Colonel? Blood and Guts? I forget his name. Anyway, he advanced, and so he was a big, here's from invading, he was way ahead and leaving all his army. So what did the Germans do? They cut you off right there, they cut you off. Took a lot of prisoners. And that was the Battle of the Bulge. Yeah.
The Battle of the Bulge was the third most lethal American battle in which 19,276 Americans were killed. It took place between December 16, 1944 and January 25, 1945 in Belgium, Luxembourg, and Germany. Soon after this battle, the war ended.
The war was over in April of 45, 45. Yeah. We were playing cards. Guy pops in the room. Guess what? War's over. Oh, that's good. What card do you have? That's how excited we got. And here they were turning up the place. Yeah. Celebrating. So, anyway, we got home. And I could have stayed in. Now I decided to go back to college. So that's what I did.
Ask you, when you returned to life at home, was everyone happy? Was everyone sad? Were they angry? Like, what was the atmosphere like?
You mean the population, the people, or my family?
The people.
The people. Oh, they were happy, sure. The war's over.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of sad ones, though. Remember, you don't have this figure. We lost 408,000 in World War II throughout all the services, Marine. 408,000. Like I talked to high schools, because that's 4 Rose Bowls. You know the Rose Bowl holds 102,000? Mm-hmm. Just picture 4 of those young bucks.
What life lessons did you learn?
What?
Life lessons did you learn from your time in the
life lessons?
Life lessons, yes, sir.
That's very important. That's very nice. One thing is, there's got to be other ways to solve your differences, not go out and kill each other. I'm saying today, even today I'm saying, the last resort is to go shoot each other. I know in the Midwest, I mean, Mid-East, life to them doesn't mean nothing. But here in this country, it does. And what happens here is that people here have never seen what war can do. We didn't have it here. But I'll tell you, if we don't win this war, we don't win it, all this wouldn't be here, I can tell you that. They refer to us as the greatest generation. Why? Because we went through a depression. And you heard of the depression?
Yeah.
Okay. Where a gallon of gas was 9 cents, a loaf of bread 10 cents, mm-hmm. And you got rationed. Oh, anyway, it's very different. No.